What's up, guys? It's Tyler from ShadleBuilt. I figured we'd kick off this first YouTube video by explaining what I have done to the Jeep, how much it costed, and future plans for it, because I know I got a lot of them. But yeah, without further ado, let's get started. But first, let me try and explain why I decided to build this. Basically, long story short, my first car ever was a 2004 SRT4. So right there was my addiction to turbos. It was just like that. The car was a basket case. The intercooler was held up by this aluminum strap with holes in it. And the motor mounts were shot, and I was so young and dumb. I thought the thing was screwed, but I sold it and then found this Cherokee, not this one. Found this Cherokee on Facebook for like $900, no pictures, and the description was just a list of a bunch of different new parts like water pump, thermostat, radiator, cooling fans, everything cooling wise was redone on it. I sold the Neon for $2,400, I think, and I figured, let's go check out this Jeep. And I get there and the mirror was broke. It was spray painted black. It was just a real piece of shit. One of the windows was broke. It's like, there's no way I'm taking this thing home. But anyhow, I was like, I'll give it a test drive. So we went on a test drive and I immediately fell in love with it. Just the way it drove, the throttle response, the straight six. And I was like, I gotta have it. It's so cheap, I can't pass it up. So I bought it, ended up running into my buddy head on almost at an intersection and totaling it. So basically ever since then, I've been addicted to Cherokees and turbos. And so here we are. But that is really the long story short of why I did this. People ask me, why didn't you just LS swap it? Why didn't you buy an old car and LS swap it? Why didn't you LS swap a PT Cruiser? Like literally anything, LS swap. That's all people want to see, and it's ridiculous in my opinion. All right, so to start out, I think I bought this Cherokee for $2,500. I overpaid on it, but my last Jeep was my favorite of all time. However, the doors were all rusted. These ones are not. This one does have pretty bad floors, which I can fix that. My seat is currently held in by a ratchet strap. But literally, like the unibody and everything else is rust free basically, and then the rockers, of course. So yeah, $2,500 for the Jeep. So first plan I had for it was I was gonna restore the whole thing. So that's why basically all the interior is stripped out of it except for the headliner and the back carpet. I was gonna strip everything, buy new carpet, buy new seats, redo the floors, redo the rockers, everything. Like the third day I had it, it sounded like it had some sort of knock. I think it might have just been a lifter. I told my buddy, and he's been dying to build another motor. I was like, hey man, I think the Jeep has a knock. I was like, maybe we'll just rebuild it. He's like, well, if we're gonna rebuild it, we might as well put a stroker in it. And I was like, well, if we put a stroker in it, we might as well turbo it. Yeah, so first things first, the stroker kit. That came with literally a full rebuild. Came with all new gaskets, crank, rods, pistons, rings. That's probably just about it. So anyhow, that was $5,000. I got it from Bishop Buell Racing, which he doesn't have a website. You have to contact him through Facebook or email. So yeah, there's $5,000. So guys, I wanted to butt in here quick. So the stroker kit, it did come with the pistons, rings, rods, crank, cam, timing chain set, gaskets, all that stuff. But that was only around $2,500. The other $2,500 was from the cylinder head that was also from Bishop Buell. That's ported and polished. It came with LS1 valves, Harlan Sharp roller rockers, heavier duty push rods, and stuff like that. So yeah, $2,500 was the stroker kit. The other $2,500 was the cylinder head. The next thing I got was new starter, alternator, all new sensors on the intake manifold and the throttle body. A billet fuel rail that has an inlet and an outlet for my return style fuel system that comes with this regulator. Banks header. We got into the valve cover. This valve cover, everybody asked me where I got it from. I won't say his name. He was asking $700. I paid $600. And I'm glad I did, because what a piece of shit this thing is. It's sweet looking, but as you can see here, we had to weld on 10 AN bungs He had AN threads, or maybe it was, I'm not going to get into it. But anyhow, $600 for the valve cover. I think $600 for the header, the fittings, and the starter and the alternator. You wouldn't believe. I'm just going to say $600 for that. I also got a BBK 62 millimeter throttle body, 60-pound Siemens Deca injectors. I got them used. I think they were 125. Throttle body was 250. And then catch can I got for free from my buddy. All the fittings, oh my goodness. Just for the fuel line, just for this fitting, that fitting back there, and 15 feet or 30 feet of 6AN line, that was over $300. The turbo is a CX Racing 62 millimeter GT35. That was $600. The wastegate, I do have a blow off valve as well, but the wastegate was, we'll say 125. It wasn't that bad. It's just a knockoff, basically tile. Racetronics fuel pressure regulator, triple core radiator with 3 electric fans up front. I got rid of the mechanical fan and the factory shitty E fan. In the tank, we have a BoostWorks engineering fuel pump module, which allows me to run a return style fuel system. That was not cheap. I'll have to look that up. And then an AEM 340 fuel pump. Also got my gauges. I wanted to have matching AEM wideband and boost gauge. The AEM was expensive enough, so we just went with a glow shift boost gauge. We also have Brown Dog motor mounts. We have a DUI distributor with live wires and a Screamin' Demon coil. Another thing that was done to this Jeep was obviously the fab work. Now, a lot of you guys are probably thinking, oh my God, Tyler, I can't imagine what you paid for all that beautiful fab work. I mean, look at these welds. My boy Kevin, he hooked me up with everything. I mean, I obviously still paid for a lot of stuff, but as far as labor goes, he really did hook me up. Wastegate pipe, the wastegate dump tube, the hood stack, which is just a 90, but still, and then all the intercooler piping that goes down around to that, through the intercooler, and then he has it fabbed from the intercooler straight up through into the throttle body. So as far as metal price goes, I'm just gonna say I spent $600 on that as well. So at the end of the video, I'll total all that up and I will put it in. Maybe it's not near the amount I thought it was. I wanted to say around 20 grand. I gotta be missing something. I'll think of it. But yeah, so as it goes for future plans for this thing, we are right back to where we started. So as I told you guys, first thing I wanted to do this was to restore it. So new rockers. I mean, the paint is literally, I'll show you the hood. This is basically how the paint is on the entire Jeep, only it's a little better, I guess, but it's real bad. So the whole thing's gonna need either painted or wrapped. I need to get the rockers done. I need to do the floors. The interior is probably gonna stay pretty stripped. I think I'm gonna take these 2 stock seats out and put in some Kirkies or some Corbeaus. I'm gonna tear the headliner out and the header panel because that's just, it gets the flapping in the wind and I'd start sneezing. So yeah, we're gonna make it look real good. We'll put cowl tracks in it, maybe a Ford 8.8 rear. If this one doesn't blow, we'll keep the Chrysler 8 1/4 and then disc brake swap it. I got to get all new shocks for it. We'll go with Bilsteins probably, because Fox, they don't make shocks for stock lift or lowered applications. I'm also going to have to probably run limit straps, because in order to get my intercooler in there, we had to take the sway bar out. This thing rocks like a literal boat. I also did my own transmission cooler, custom mounts designed by me, and line for that. This is just a Amazon general oil cooler. It works decent, I think. Another future plan I have for it, I'll show you guys. Also got to put the front drive shaft in yet. Oh, that's good for it. This is for the front bumper. What we're gonna do is cut a perimeter out around so this can fit over. That way my intercooler can get a lot better breathing capabilities, but that'll sit on there like that. And I'll probably do some nut search for the holes and stuff like that. And I also have a black ShadleBuilt overlay that will go here. Look pretty sick. You guys got to let me know where to get a cowl hood. There used to be SoCal Fiber and Baja Fiber. They used to make cowl hoods for these. Now they don't. They just do like a 10th anniversary, like Jeep Renegade style hood. I don't like it and it won't work for me, but obviously my stock hood will not fit. There's gonna have to be a cowl up over. And then this side, there's no way anything is fitting, so I'm gonna cut around whatever hood I get around everything, and then I'll make a cool like perimeter out of carbon fiber and shit. Future plans with the motor, I'd like to go standalone ECU, probably Mega Squirt. Yeah, that's about it. I'll fire this thing up for you. Shout out to Cletus. He actually was so kind to give me 20 horsepower. So. Ooh. But yeah, that is all I had planned for this YouTube video. Really, I'm going to go ahead and get a total price put together for you guys so you have an idea of what I have invested into this shit box. All right, guys, it's the next day. I went ahead and put together a parts list. It's a very general parts list, but most of the prices are pretty accurate. I know I forgot a couple things like my boost controller down there, which is not very expensive, just a Turbo Smart manual boost controller. Probably forgetting a couple nuts and bolts, stuff like that, but I'll put it up on the screen. You guys can screenshot it if you want to for some reason build something similar. I don't know why you would. I highly suggest not doing it, because then you would spend $13,000 on a piece of shit. Oh yeah, but that's all I got for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if it was a little boring. It's my first one. I'll get the hang of it. As you can tell, we have some pretty cool plans for this in the future, and I think we can turn this YouTube thing into something pretty big. So appreciate you guys for watching, and see you in the next one.